Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense begins right now. We're live for you in the CZ studios across the country and on Facebook.com/Armed American Radio, Facebook.com/Armed American Radio, here in front of this Patriot Mobile microphone at the Patriot Mobile Command Center. You can also watch us over on Rumble, rumble.com/Armed American Radio. Greg in Dallas, Texas. Good day to you, my brother.
Yeah, here we are. It's Tuesday. I was feeling like it was Wednesday.
What day did you think it was?
It's day 3. That's all I know.
Well, that's because of Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't look at it in those terms. I look at it as I work every day, so I don't really care. Doesn't really matter anymore. What day is it? Well, I know it's garbage day because the garbage day truck. So I know that's Wednesday, right?
The day that ends in Y. That's what day it is.
Yeah, and Friday, something's going on Friday, and I don't know what it is. But guys, if you're watching on all your stuff, Greg, why don't you tell people where to watch, and then I'll give my little spiel, and we'll go over to Lee the Gunwriter Williams, and we're going to go off on Chicago politicians and Illinois politicians, and we're only going to be constrained by the FCC, unfortunately. So you can insert whatever expletive you want. I'll give you open space to do that. I wish I could, but I can't. Good heavens, am I angry? And I think, ladies and gentlemen, you will be too. And we've got some audio clips to play for you that if you're not, well, we're going to get you good and riled up. Greg, go take it away, brother.
Other places to watch the show are going to be YouTube. Just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. You can head over to X and watch us at AAR Mark. You can head over to the website, armedamericanradio.org or .com. Hit that menu icon and select your watch live or listen live option. And lastly, if you'd like to join our live chat, all you have to do is download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
Yeah, and that'll do it. Thank you, Greg, for that. Appreciate it. Guys, if you're watching on the screens, you got Corvette hair today. Corvette hair, don't care. Lee, the Gunwriter Williams, I see him grinning down there in beautiful Sarasota, Florida, living under the old tyrant there, right? Governor DeSantis. Talk about, compare him to Pritzker. Lee, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, man. It's always fun to have you here, and it really is good to see you on the radio. I love you, good friend. Lee, are you going to be in Houston for the NRA by chance? I don't think I asked you that yet, and I should have.
I'm not going to NRA this year. No, sir, I am not.
No, huh? Okay, well.
I know.
Yeah, it's going to be a great week. Yeah, and I'll be there all week broadcasting, so it's going to be an awful lot of fun. But, okay, I wasn't sure. I hadn't asked you that privately, so I figured I'd just go ahead and ask you on air. But, we'll miss you there for sure. But I know at the next event I see you will likely be the Gun Rights Policy Conference. And we're talking September.
And I will definitely be there.
Boy, that's coming quick too, man. We're coming up on April already. Pollen all over the cars around here. It's been really bad, but it is a great sign that it's getting nice. So, Lee, before we get into your stuff, and we will, I have got to go to Chicago, brother. Now,
you have to. That crazy elected official and her comments. Oh my God, go for it.
It's not just her, but Brandon Johnson and Pritzker. These two should be put in handcuffs and should be jailed and charged. Greg, what's eliminate what, Greg? Say it, Greg. You can say it. Qualified immunity?
Yeah, that's not the word I was thinking of.
Yeah, well, we can't. We're going to have.
I was like, wait a minute.
We're going to have a lot of those moments today on the program today, ladies and gentlemen. My hatred and disdain for these scumbags is off the hook.
Oh.
Now, I'm going to go back to. Well, I'm not going to go back. I'm going to go to. Let me put it this way. I have lost count. Greg, maybe you can help me here. How many tens of thousands of shootings and murders have I covered on national radio broadcasts in the last nearly 18 years, Greg? How many? I mean, we can't pinpoint. It's tens of thousands, is it not?
Yeah, it's uncountable.
Chicago. We're talking about Chicago, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give you some updated numbers here, and then we're going to play some tapes that are going to anger you. So far, year to date, 82 people have been shot and killed in Chicago alone. Shot and wounded, Lee, 261. Total shot, 343. Now, the tally for this past weekend, 7 killed, 14 wounded. That's Friday night, Friday into Sunday evening. Same weekend last year, 8 killed, 9 wounded. 2024, 0 killed, but 13 wounded. Nobody died of their wounds. 2023, 4 killed, 16 wounded. 2022, 4 killed, 22 wounded. 2021, 7 killed, 23 wounded. 2020, 1 killed, 21 wounded. 19, 3 killed, 14 wounded. In 18, 5 killed, 17 wounded. Guys, these are weekend numbers. Now, when you hear Brandon Johnson open his lying dirtbag, scumbag pie hole with what you're going to hear from him, I want you to go back and listen and think about those numbers I just gave you as he lies right to the camera. These people will look you in your face in a camera at midnight and tell you the sun is shining, and if you don't like it and call them out on it, they'll have you thrown out of the press conference because you're not pushing their damn narrative. Pritzker, by the way, it took him 5 days, Lee, 5 days to acknowledge the murder of a young Loyola student, 18-year-old Sheridan Gorman, who was murdered by a dirtbag, scumbag, criminal, illegal alien. And guys, I take this Illinois nonsense personally. My daughter had to use the side of a Dodge 2500 pickup truck as a brake pad when an illegal immigrant with an Illinois driver's license that was expired pulled in front of her and nearly killed her. Less than 1 year ago. It's been almost a year already, Lee, believe it or not. It was at the end of April last year. Okay? All of this coming out of Illinois. Now, ICE has put a notice up 2 days ago on the 22nd. Today's the 24th. We lose track of days here, guys. Asking Pritzker and Chicago sanctuary politicians to not release this criminal scumbag alien who shot and killed 18-year-old Loyola College student. I want you to think about it, Lee. The fact that that ICE has to ask Illinois politicians not to release this man. What does that tell you before we get into the meat of this nonsense?
That tells me that their entire criminal justice system is wrapped around one issue, and that's the rights of the defendant. And rights is in finger quotes, rights as they see it. And they have the number one right is not to be in jail. They don't want anybody in jail if they can afford it. And brother, I mean, if it was up to me, that trial would already be over and done with, and he would be 6 feet under.
Street justice is due here, folks. It didn't happen.
Terrible.
And unfortunately, we're going to have to watch this play out. But you've got ICE asking the governor of Illinois, a U.S. state, and Chicago sanctuary politicians, not just Brandon Johnson, but all the aldermen in Chicago, Lee, all of them, do not release this criminal, illegal dirtbag. Now, according to the local reports, this beautiful young girl, 18 years old, was shot and killed on Thursday morning around 1 a.m. She was walking in a park with her friends. Now, we don't blame the victim here, but in Chicago at 1 a.m., my tail's not walking around, okay? She has every right to do that, and this is what happens in these scumbag Democrat-run cities. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson, both of you should be held criminally accountable for this. You should pay the price for this. And not just this one, Lee. This has been going on in Chicago for over 100 years. Remind me what party has controlled that crime-ridden, filthy hole for the last century. What party would that be, Lee?
Well, that'd be the Dems, and I think that they have done enough damage. It's incredible. I mean, look at the statistics: 5 to 6 to 7 a weekend. This is just a pretty young girl. They're not even covering the deaths of the folks that live there. The folks are usually of color. I mean, it's terrible there. There's a bleeding open hole.
It is a political hellhole. Why? Because of who it's run by. Now, I know we're getting ready to take a break. The individual, and we are going to name him because he needs to be named, Medina. How many hyphens here do we need? Oh, I'm sorry. Was that racist?
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get mad at me because I said, that's his name here, ladies and gentlemen. Medina was apprehended by the U.S. Border Patrol and released into the country on May 9th, 2023. Remind me,
30.
Lee, who was president then?
That'd be Mr. Joe Biden.
Yeah, he was released again on June 19th, 2023. Following an arrest for shoplifting in where? Chirac. Released. When we come back, I'll read you a statement about this young girl who was killed, who had her whole life ahead of her. And I'll read you part of a letter. Yeah, it's awful. And I'll read you part of a letter from ICE Director Todd Lyons from December 2025. And guys, on top of that, I'm going to play some clips from you from Brandon Johnson that are going to boil your blood. And if you care about this country and if you care about the direction it's going, if you're driving, I'm going to ask you to pull over because it's going to anger you beyond words. We'll be right back with Lee. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Walters, filling your prescription for freedom today and every day. We're fired up here in the studio today. as we should be, as every American should be. And by fired up, I mean angry, 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 blood pressure high, angry, not quite stroke high, but close. I'm at my wit's end with these Democrats. I wish I could give you some of the chat messages going on between the guys in the round table every weekend about the thoughts on the Democrats after this. This is, again, it's FCC. I got to be really careful. Before I get back into it with Lee and play you some audio, and we're going to play you a tape from Chris Murphy from a couple years ago that has resurfaced, and he's going to tell you who the Democrats care the most about. Then we're going to comment on that a little bit, then we're going to go over to that dirtbag Mayor Brandon Johnson. Pritzker, I already told you about that slob. What we're doing with that Pritzker slob is we're just going to let you know it took him 5 days to even acknowledge this beautiful girl's murder, an American citizen. So we know where that scumbag's heart lies. But before that, I want to ask you to join the National Rifle Association, please. And I got a lot of comments yesterday from a lot of you that are excited about meeting us at the National Rifle Association in Houston, April 16th through the 19th. We'll be there for the entire time. We have a booth on Media Row. If you're there, make sure to come up, shake our paw. You never know. We might even mic you up and tape a segment with you if you come by to put you on the Sunday Monster Cast and just get your opinions on what's happening on the floor there. It is nra.org/AAR, nra.org/AAR. Let's bring Lee the Gunwriter Williams back up. Lee, you're back up with us. We appreciate it. Thank you for being here, my friend.
My pleasure.
So let's...
My pleasure.
Greg, let's start with the clip of Chris Murphy, who is out there running his mouth, lying to Americans all day long on X, every single day. Guys, if you have X, if you don't have X, don't go get it. It's just a cesspool of garbage. But if you do have it, make sure to follow this dirtbag. You want to get some insight into how the Democrats think? It'll anger you. You can't look at this stuff before you eat or even right after you eat. It's so bad. But this clip resurfaced from 2 years ago, Lee, and he tells you on MSDNC, now MS Now, or whatever they call themselves over at that liberal rag, exactly who they hold to be the most important people, the people that they believe that they support the most, that are most important to them. Greg, let's play Chris Murphy's lying mouth.
My 20 years covering this issue, the trade is this. They want more border security and enhancement. Democrats want a path to citizenship. This time around, the negotiation didn't have a path to citizenship. It was entirely on their terms in order to get Ukraine funded, right?
Well, I mean, Chris, that's been a failed play for 20 years. So right. You are right that has been the Democratic strategy for 30 years, maybe. And it has failed to deliver for the people we care about most, the undocumented Americans that are in this country. This is also not 2013 anymore.
Okay, go ahead and stop the tape. 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 The people we care about the most, undocumented Americans. Lee, right. Can you be an undocumented American? No, you can't. You're not an American if you're not documented. And a driver's license, whatever, what have you. All right. Up on the screen, if you're watching, I've got this scumbag Jose Medina's mug up here for you to take a look at. This is the guy that murdered that beautiful 18-year-old girl who will never, ever, ever again be able to see her family and likewise. And guys, it chokes me up because my daughter was hit and nearly killed a year ago by a dirtbag who shouldn't have been here, carrying an expired Illinois driver's license given to him by that slob Pritzker. And who knows, maybe the Chicago politicians, I don't know. But what I can tell you is he was locked up here because we don't play like that down here. And that's what the cop told me. When the cop said, "What do you want us to do, Dad?" Chain him up. Get him out of here. Now there's lawsuits. We do not play games. They do. So you're looking at his mug if you're watching the show. Here's what, now you just heard Chris Murphy say that that's who's most important to the Democrats. Lee, when you hear that, my God, what goes through your head? How about Connecticut Americans, Murphy? How about Americans that grew up and were born and raised in your state? How about that? Yeah, I mean, it's a sense of disbelief, absolute disbelief that he's actually talking, that they're the number one person or number one thing for the Democratic Party. I mean, this guy's a murdering scumbag. He had charge after
I can't
charge
get over
after
it.
charge. This guy has been charged and released. Why are they releasing these people? It is mind-boggling to me. I got to calm down. I don't want to go into
Because
stroke territory. Go ahead, Lee. Answer that
Chicago
question.
Chicago has this warped policy that you can be brought in and booked, and then you get to go home.
Who
I
would
don't know
do that?
why.
For what purpose?
Idiots.
But why? Why?
I have no idea. I've never understood it. I put people in prison for 10 years. I never understood letting them go.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is
They're going to
mind-boggling.
reoffend, as this guy did.
Yeah, it's a revolving door. Oh, boy. Here's Sheridan Gorman had her whole life ahead of her before this cold-blooded killer. This is from ICE. You can read up here. You can see it up here. I can't blow the screen up for you, but you can blow up your screen if you're watching. Sheridan Gorman had her whole life ahead of her before this cold-blooded killer decided to end her life. She was failed by open border policies and sanctuary politicians who released this illegal alien twice before he went on to commit this heinous murder. That's from Acting Secretary Lauren Biss. We are calling on Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago's sanctuary politicians to commit to not releasing this criminal illegal alien from jail back into American neighborhoods. Now, continuing to quote and paraphrase here from this ICE Homeland Security, it's at dhs.gov/news. You can read it out there. It went out 2 days ago, folks. It's up on my screen here. You can see it. In December 2025, ICE Director Todd Lyons sent a letter to Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul. That's really effective, calling on him to put the safety of Americans first and honor ICE arrest detainers of the more than 4,000 criminal illegal aliens in the state's custody, including murderers, sexual predators, and those convicted of or charged with weapons offenses. And DHS goes on to mention that they are, in fact, protecting American communities every day from another senseless tragedy like this taking place in another town to another family. Victims of illegal alien crime may receive support from the Victims of Immigration Crime Engagement Voice Office by contacting blank. Now, that office shouldn't even have to exist. And I shudder to think where I would be sitting today if I showed up on scene a year ago, April, and my daughter, God forbid, something had happened to her worse than it did. I wouldn't be in front of this microphone, ladies and gentlemen. My ass would be in jail. Now, thankfully, we're taking a break. When we come back, we're going to go into stroke territory. Wait till you hear what Mayor Brandon Johnson had to say 2 days after the fact. And I promise you, Lee, and I know I'll see you shake your head here on radio because I can see you on radio now, the magic of technology. It's going to anger you beyond words, and it will shock you even more because we all know the only reason both of those dirtbags went up in front of cameras was because of public pressure. Otherwise, they wouldn't have said anything. Because as Chris Murphy said, well, those are the most important people to them, not the American who was murdered. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Patriot Mobile activated phone, and I wish and hope that you would do the same thing. We use them here at the house. We've got Patriot Mobile. You should have Patriot Mobile, too. I mean, when you hear stories like we're talking about right now, it to me anyway, it makes me want everything American that I can get my hands on, and Patriot Mobile is the real deal. And you heard Scott Coburn, their chief marketing officer, on the program just 2 weeks ago, Thursday, talking about how 80% of their staff is armed, and all of their employees are encouraged to carry at work. Wow, that's pretty American in my book, right? That's the company I want to support. So support them if you can, please. It's real simple to do. It's patriotmobile.com/AAR. They use all of the other companies' towers. You've got tremendous service. And they sponsor events like the National Rifle Association. They're big sponsors over at SHOT Show, and they will have a booth at the NRA. I'll be hanging out with them, and they'll be hanging out with me at our respective booths. And I'm going to walk the floor and see if I can't find a representative from, I don't know, maybe those other three that I won't name, like Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. And I won't be able to find them because they won't be there. But Patriot Mobile will be. patriotmobile.com/AAR. Please work with these businesses that support this show and support your rights and your freedoms. And when you talk about stories like this is what we're talking about, particularly if you live behind the blue wall. What a great way to slap back, okay? Just do it. It's even more fun if you work for any of those three that we just mentioned that we don't like to mention, and that being AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. We don't like to talk about them by name, but we do sometimes. Sometimes it just slips out. But if you work for any of them, wow, get you a Patriot Mobile phone, okay? That'd be a real slapback, wouldn't it? I see Lee laughing over there. Guys, you can find them and all of our great partners at armedamericanradio.com, armedamericanradio.com. Now, I'm going to bring the screen back up, Lee, here with this beautiful girl, Sheridan Gorman, and her killer are on our screen. And when we play now, Greg, let's play Brandon Johnson in all of this loser's FCC unfriendly things. Let's just call him a PAB. You can look it up. Go ahead, Greg.
Take right now to help continue to drive down violence and crime in our city. We need the federal government to stop the endless flow of guns into our state and into our city. Chicago police officers have taken more than 24,000 guns, illegal guns, off the streets of Chicago since I've taken office. Over 24,000 illegal guns taken off the streets of Chicago since I've been in office. They have worked hard every single day to make our city safer, and they've made historic progress.
Okay.
However, we will never be able to end gun violence in Chicago as long as the president continues to allow tens of thousands of guns to be trafficked into our state and our city. The vast majority of guns do not come from Chicago. They are not made in Cook County. They are not bought in the state of Illinois. These guns come from red states. They are coming from Indiana. They are coming from Mississippi. They are coming from Louisiana. And that is the harsh reality, whether Republicans like it or not. Occupying our city will do nothing to solve this problem. No matter how much work we do or how hard we work, whether it's expanding our Detectives Bureau, investing in community violence intervention, and addressing the root causes of crime, none of it will ever be enough until the president decides to end the mass trafficking of guns in our city. For every gun that the Chicago Police Department fights to get off the streets, 2 or 3 more new guns come into our city. Chicago will continue to have a violence problem as long as red states continue to have a gun problem.
Cut it off. I can't take it anymore. Lee, I'm going into stroke territory because it's Republicans' fault, it's Indiana's fault, it's Wisconsin's fault. It's not his fault. They have controlled that cesspool for a century. And look right smack at a camera and blame Trump and Republicans and red states. Let me let you in on a little secret, ladies and gentlemen. None of those red states have the problems that Chicago has. Not one. Take it away, Lee. I'm in stroke territory, bro.
Yeah, I got to watch what I say because I don't want you to eat an FCC fine. But let me tell you, brother, it's the only thing he has left to say. You got to blame Trump, and it was the president before him and the president before him, right? No, absolutely not. The mayor is responsible for Chicago. The governor. I can't. It's difficult to talk right now without using those words.
I know.
Let me just say this. You can't believe a word coming out of his lying, filthy mouth. Okay? Absolutely can't believe a word of it.
Yeah, the guns aren't made there. The guns aren't bought there. The guns come from Indiana. The guns, ladies and gentlemen, are stolen by illustrious criminal gangbangers with a Chicago address.
Bingo.
Now, we could go on and on and on about this. We have talked about this for 17 years on this radio program, Lee. We have covered Chicago, tens of thousands of killings. I'm going to take you back over to some of these numbers, and I want you to look at these again, ladies and gentlemen, when we open up the show. This is just the weekend numbers from this past weekend. 7 killed, 14 wounded. Last year, same weekend, 8 killed, 9 wounded. Remember, he said crime's going down. It's at historic low numbers. 0 killed, 2024.
When did the guns start coming in, by the way? When did the guns start coming into the state? That's what I want to know. When did they start coming into the city? It makes no sense. I'm sorry. I'm still angry.
No, he doesn't make any sense, but that's why we have these numbers. In 2023, 4 killed, 16 wounded. 2022, same weekend, just the weekend. In 2022, 4 killed, 22 wounded. 2021, 7 killed, 23 wounded. Yeah, the numbers are going down, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? And I'm going to sell you the bridge over the River Kwai. And guess what? It's located in Kansas City, Missouri. These people they are criminal. They are evil. They are monsters. And they get away with it. And it is remarkable to me that they keep getting elected. Absolutely remarkable to me that they keep getting elected. And as Chris Murphy pointed out, and if you're listening in Connecticut, and many of you do, this is what he thinks. You're not important to him. Jose Medina is important to him. He refers to him as an undocumented American. You know what he is? He's an illegal criminal federal lawbreaker scumbag. Now, okay, Lee, I'm going to... I can't wrap my head around it. It is so hard to wrap my head around why these people do what they do. Look, I can go back to Daley. You want to talk about some hypocrisy? I used to love when Daley was in office when we were on air. I did, because this guy just handed us content every day. We didn't have to do show prep. This guy'd open his mouth and you had a show. I mean, it was pretty much that simple, right? But this is a guy, you want to see the utter hypocrisy of this? Let's kind of juxtapose this. And when we come back in the next segment, I'm going to tell you what is, some of you might be thinking, what does this have to do with my guns? I'll tell you exactly what it has to do with your guns when we come back. If it's not glaringly evident to you now, you're probably listening to the wrong radio show, to be honest with you, if you can't figure that out by now. But go to Virginia for a minute. They exempt themselves from their gun laws.
Yeah.
Which means that they admit that they have their own guns. But they exempt themselves from the law. Now, let's go back to Daley. Daley leaves office after him and his family ran that city like kings for decades, decades and decades. And what does he do? Surrounds himself with lifetime armed security state police protection. Lifetime. At your taxpayer expense if you happen to live in that hellhole. You're still paying for the Daley family to be heavily protected by armed state police officers on your dime. Meanwhile, they want to restrict Sheridan Gorman because she's not a legal adult in their minds. When we come back, we'll explain it away. Don't go away. All right, guys, welcome back. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense continues. One more segment to go. We're out of stroke territory. I don't want you to worry about me. I think Lee's doing okay over there as well, too. We're probably going to go back to that in just a second because my thoughts on this, as I continue to ponder this during the break, is it just gets worse and worse. But we're going to tie this to your guns, and I think you already know the answer to this. But I'm going to put it in very, very blunt terms for you in just a moment. Guys, if you're watching, I'm holding up my attorneys on retainer card, because I carry a gun with me everywhere I go, and that includes in this studio. I have several guns right here in front of me that I won't show for obvious reasons. Strike, 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 strike. Don't want to do that. Even toy guns get us in trouble. We found that out. However, I have an attorney in my pocket in the form of this card because I can't carry him around with me. And I know because of personal experience back in 2002 that bad things can happen. That's why I made the decision to carry my gun every day since then, and I've never left my home without my weapon ever since then, ever, unless I was banned or had to get on a plane, that kind of thing. But it's traveling with me. It's with me wherever I am. I can legally carry it, and sometimes otherwise. There you go. All you liberal outlets that like to write about that stuff, have at it. I couldn't care less what you think, to be honest. As far as I'm concerned, you're an enemy of my freedom. We fight you every single day. But I digress. Guys, it's $37 a month, $37 a month to have an attorney in your pocket. And when you use the attorneysonretainer.us/AAR, or just use the promo code if you find yourself over at Attorneys on Retainer, use the promo code AAR over there. If you don't go directly to the website with the /AAR, you're going to save $25 on the sign up. And I just paid those for my family today, by the way. And I love that because I know every member of my family has a lawyer. If God forbid something like this, or a person like this, a monster like this, Jose Medina, whatever his name is, were to try to wreak havoc, that we're covered. And God forbid, in a place like Chicago, you'd probably get arrested for doing that. Lord only knows. You can find all of our great sponsors, Bud's Gun Shop, the National Rifle Association, and don't forget Pot of Gold Auctions, POG Auctions. Today is the last day to bid on that WTTA auction over there. So go check out the prices. Put a bid in over there on something really cool, and 100% of it goes to suicide prevention work that Walk the Talk America at WTTA.org is doing. We thank Cheryl Todd and Danny, her husband, and we thank Mike Sedini and everybody at Walk the Talk America, and we're going to be doing more of these throughout the course of the coming weeks, months, and the year ahead. So please support us over there. It is truly God's work. Welcome back to the CZ Studios with me, guys. You know where to go to find our great partners. Lee, the Gunwriter Williams, welcome back. Now, let me say this. Let's tie this to guns. The single most important thing you can do, Lee, and I think you'll agree with me, is have a firearm on you for self-defense, correct?
Absolutely, 100%, all the time.
Now, Sheridan Gorman is 18 years old. We are fighting right now across the country to restore the firearms carry rights of 18 to 20-year-olds because many Democrats have been successful, and some Republicans in your state as well, Lee. National Rifle Association is fighting DeSantis and the Republicans there to restore the rights of 18 to 20-year-olds.
He's not fighting this. They're not fighting DeSantis.
That's
They're
true.
fighting the Republicans.
The Republicans. DeSantis has already called for that to be corrected. And our good friend Ryan Petty down there is leading the charge on that as well. So this is an ongoing battle. The cavalry is out there fighting on your behalf, but the single most important thing you can do is carry a firearm. And let me tell you something. The perfect outcome for me in this would have been that this 18-year-old adult had a right, which she does, but it was stripped from her by what party? The Democrat Party, to protect herself. And if she didn't have or wasn't carrying, that somebody else in the vicinity was that could have saved her life. And at the very least, at least taken his after the fact if necessary. You know what I think should be done with this guy, Lee? Put him in an unmarked box and ship him back to where he came from, drop him off on the tarmac and fly the hell out of there. Because we're sick and tired of this as Americans. We are fed up to our necks with this, and correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure I'm echoing the sentiment of millions of people within earshot.
You are, and I think the big question you kind of answered for yourself is what you would want to carry at Chicago at 1 a.m. Brother, I'm talking my AR, my assault vest with hard plates, 3 or 4 magazines, my handgun, my pocket handgun, and probably anything else I can come up with.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I have an AR in my vehicle. I'm ready to go at all times. At all times. It doesn't matter what I'm driving.
Yeah, it's so sad. So sad that they have not extended the right to 18-year-olds, even though 18-year-olds can be drafted. Can enlist in the military. They can go to war. I was carrying a machine gun when I was 18. It's crazy.
Yeah, they can get married. They can finish college. They can live their lives. They can enter contracts at 18. They can do all kinds of things, except this one can't because she's dead at the hands of an individual who should never have been here to begin with. So if you're one of those libs out there that still has the Biden sticker on your car, I hold you responsible as well because that's what you voted for. But forgive me. Chris Murphy, by the way. Let me put this scumbag back up here so you can all see who Chris Murphy and the Democrat Party believes are their most important constituents. Undocumented, illegal Americans. Those words don't even fit together in the same sentence, Lee. That's like putting career and politician together. Those two words don't belong together in the same sentence, brother. Okay? Good heavens. Lee, I'm sorry we went over time on this more than I wanted to, but this is so important and so disgusting to me.
It is. Without a doubt.
Have you seen any of the coverage on this at any of the liberal outlets? I really I don't pay much attention to them. I have, I'm guilty of headline surfing on some of those outlets, but
I can't watch them. I heard what a Chicago public person, city council member said about it, and she implied that this girl went and approached him when he was having a bad time with the gun and maybe startled him. I can't believe that kind of talk. There is no justification for this.
No, but they will justify everything. And Chris Murphy's words, ladies and gentlemen, and it was Rush Limbaugh that used to say, words mean things. They mean things. And you've got to, when you listen to a guy like Brandon Johnson, you listen to somebody like that slob Pritzker and the rest of them, and you listen to Chris Murphy, he's out there with his little tweets all day long, running his lion flapping gums all day long. It's disgusting. He has a right to do it. I'll defend his right to do it. But guys, you've got to be smart enough to understand what is going on here. You've got, and try to wrap your head around what we're talking about here. It is difficult, Lee, if not near impossible to do, that American citizens in positions of great power do not care about you. And as Chris Murphy said, you're not the most important constituent. Those of you that live in Connecticut that he represents, keep pulling the lever for him, okay? Keep pushing the button. What's the old one? Dimple the Chad for him. It's your fault. You've given the rest of the nation this. And so did that president. Okay. Thank God there's music right now. Lee the Gunwriter Williams, where can people find you? You wrote some great stuff this week. It's all up there. We were talking about it on 97.1 FM, Mark Cox, this morning. So I want to let you know you got plenty of airtime on the Midwest's biggest drive talk show this morning. Go ahead, real fast.
ArmedAmericanNews.org, thegunwriter.substack.com, but we hope SAF.org. SAF is in Second Amendment Foundation.org.
That'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is going to call it quits on a Tuesday, but we're going to wake up and do it again tomorrow because they don't want us having these conversations. So we're going to do it even louder because that's who we are and what we do. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. Carry your firearm. Never, ever, ever leave your cave without your club. Please don't do that. Again, stay safe. I love each and every one of you. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.